What's happening, Wargamers? Welcome to another episode of the Dossier, the Marvel Crisis Protocol show where we discuss all characters, Marvel Crisis Protocol, what we think about the character model, where they might fit in the game, what they have on their card, basically giving you a general overview of the character. These are just simply our opinions. We definitely encourage you to get involved in the discussion. There's lots of great places you can do so, and lots of great people are giving great impressions and feedback on these various characters. And remember, if you want to see more shows like this, definitely consider supporting the channel by liking, subscribing, and checking out patreon.com/AegisBrand Anyway, this week we are continuing through with our Ministravaganza characters here. We're getting near the end of it, but we have Miss Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat from the Spider-Man mythos. And we're going to take a quick look at her, and she is one that a lot of people kind of feel maybe got a bit maligned with the new update here. But let's take a look at the model. And I'm not going to lie, I am not a fan of the pose on this model, much like I know a lot of other people are. I think it looks a little awkward, a little clunky with her jumping backwards. I think there's other things they could have done with it to make it a little bit more interesting. I mean, mechanically speaking, the model is fine. It went together well. There's not really any sort of like danger pieces like that are going to break off. Just the typical kind of shallow point on the foot connector there. But honestly, a lot of it just comes down to I've never liked the backward somersaulting model. I think they could have done some more interesting stuff with it. I know they wanted to show off sort of like the dynamic nature of it, the fact that the Black Cat is very mobile, very just able to get around basically. Unfortunately, it just kind of fell a bit flat for me on that particular front. As far as her cards go, so she is a character that kind of got a big change with only a couple changes here. So she's 3s across the board, 5 stamina, 3 threat, 2 size with a long move. For a 3 threat, I mean that's pretty standard right there. She's got a physical attack, Cat Claws, range 2, 4 dice for 0 power. It is a builder attack, so gaining power equal to damage dealt. If damage is dealt, we'll gain the bleed special condition. We'll put it on the target character with a wild pierce. The big change on this one is basically the bleed has gone in there. And you're not always going to get it, but being able to put that bleed on there, it's one of those conditions that a lot of people don't always think a lot about. So when you're able to sneak it in, it can actually kind of have a big impact there. We have Troublemaker, which is a physical range 3 attack, 6 dice, power 2. If the attack would deal damage, it will only ever gain 1 damage instead. After the attack is resolved, the character gains Stagger. This is Stagger on a stick for 2 power, which, really nice. Then a Wild Elusive for a short advance allows her to kind of get out of dodge. This has kind of become her new go-to over Master Cat Burglar, and we'll go over that in just a second why. But being able to just put out Stagger at range 3 for 2 dice, really nice, never to be understated there, especially when you're looking at any of like the big battleship meta characters. For 2 power, we got an active power, Grappling Hook. You can place her within 2 of its current position once per turn. Great way of getting out of dodge. She is a very mobile character as we've established. Now, this is the big one right here. Master Cat Burglar. It is 3 power. I believe it used to be 2, but I don't quite remember. The big thing here, though, is that it now costs an action. It didn't used to cost an action, so it allowed her to kind of like run in long, grab something, run away long, and then do a Master Cat Burglar, a Grappling Hook, and just be gone. Like there was no way to catch up with her. It's now an action, so she's lost one of her long movements on this. Choose an enemy character within range 1, move 1 asset or civilian token of the chosen character to this character. They are now holding it. I can't hold more than the crisis specifies. It's a steal. We've been seeing this across the board, that the steals have become actions. There's very few abilities out there, if any, that will directly transfer you to another character without the use of an action from an opposing character. I think we're still seeing ones that like drop tokens and everything like that. Pyrotechnics, this is a robbery. But I think most of the ones that directly move one to the other, Quicksilver might still have one, I think, but I can't quite recall. But this was a big one. A lot of people brought Black Cat because she was basically a steal bot, and she was able to really get some work done in that one. With the action, there's a lot of people who kind of feel that she's been nerfed a bit, and we're going to go over that in just a second. She's also gained Bad Luck. When targeting this character with attacks, enemy characters cannot modify their attack dice, and they do not roll additional crits results in their attack roll. This is one of those ones that I think until you start seeing the impacts of it, you're going to feel like it's kind of a lateral move. When you start failing to see those crits go off, you really start feeling that effect. It's actually kind of big. We've seen this on Domino when she's attacking as well, that crits don't explode. But not being able to like get the crit results as well, it's, well, not resulting the extra dice. It's huge. I mean, when the game is sort of balanced around this idea of being able to explode your dice and get extra dice based on that, it can really make a big difference. So this is actually a really low-key survivable upgrade for her. Then, of course, she has stealth. Basically, can't target her unless you're within range 3. All in all, I really like this kit. I think a lot of people were kind of in the opinion that Black Cat was kind of dead with Steel becoming an action. I think what it is that if you looked at this character, if this character came out today as it was, you looked at that stagger, you looked at her mobility, she is still an excellent character. The big difference is that you have to think a little bit more about her. She's no longer a fire and forget character, just run her up, steal something, and run away. You now actually have to consider where you're putting her and whether or not like the getaway plan is the big part of the plan. Maybe the plan now is you run up, steal something, and then stagger someone. Like maybe that's where your 5 power is going to. Or maybe your 5 powers to grappling hook and walk away. Like, there's just a little bit more going on with her character now. It's no longer a very simple model. She still has a very good kit, and I think she's still going to see a lot of really good play, especially on any teams that sort of like really take advantage of her movement, or can really play some good shenanigans with stealing away, or even if you just need to stagger someone. I think she's got a lot of really good kits. You can still bring her in, OG Steve Avengers, get those powers down by 1. Just makes it a little bit easier to steal, a little bit easier to grappling hook away, as it were. Maybe if getting that pierce through on her cat claws to like force that bleed isn't too shabby, or getting the wild effect for the elusive on Mighty Avengers. There's a lot of places that I think she can still do some really good work on here. Of course, she likes being in Web Warriors and Criminal Syndicate. Those are nice homes for her. I think what's basically happened is she's not as splashable as she once was, at least not a no-brain splash, but she still has some really good play in a lot of affiliations, and I think once people kind of get past the fact that the Master Cat Burglar is now in action, I think they'll start seeing that she is still a really solid character on the table, even if it's just for being a stagger bot. I mean, a 2-power stagger is just amazing. That sort of economy is really hard to get around. And, if you have the power to grappling hook in and stagger 2 characters, that's really good. Like, you've just effectively removed 1 full activation's worth of actions there, and that's always something worth doing, especially at range 3. So there you go. That is the Black Cat. Definitely sound off in the comments below where you think she belongs these days, and get involved in the conversation. And we will see you next time. Happy wargaming.